Wow, what a crowd. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Orangewood Park Variety Show. It's been 2 years because of COVID since we've had this, so it's really good to be back. I'd like to tell you that the people in this park have been so awesome. They've worked hard. We got a lot of talent here that you're going to see today. So I wanted to hand this over to my partner Karen, who is my right hand in helping me organize this. I don't know what I do without her. They're moving out of the park and I want to come back next year anyway. But they got a nice house. So Karen, go for it.
Okay, I'm supposed to describe how we came up with the theme for today. Is that closer? Okay, how about that? Okay. The theme for today's show is Don't Stop Me Now. I picked that song way back in 2020 at our last park show. And the more I looked at it, the more I thought that was so appropriate for now, since, as Jan mentioned, it's been 2 years since we've had a park show. And I think we're on a roll. Hopefully we're going to get back to a normal schedule. So right now I'm hoping that it's Don't Stop Me Now. We're going to keep going. And if Jan wants me back next year, maybe they'll let me back through the gate. I don't know. And also, the theme, Don't Stop Me Now. If you look at our program, we got a lot of grannies, old folks, grandpa, granddaughters in there. That also applies to our age. Even though we may have a title of senior or grandma or grandpa, we're not going to let that stop us now. So without further ado, I'm going to shut up. And I just want to tell you, it's been a pleasure working with Jan. It's really great. She's excellent. And I love it even more because I think I'm taller than she is. So back to Jan.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for tonight. Boy, did we luck out when he came into the park. He's a first-year resident. He's a retired school teacher and is full-time RVer for the last 13 years. So when he came, approached me and said, you know, I'd like to do a little comedy and you know, maybe if you're looking for a Master of Ceremonies, I'd be really delighted. So we struck gold with him. So I want to introduce you to Dale Barstow. Some of you probably know that when he walks down the street, whether he knows you or not, he'll stop and tell you a little story or a joke. But I'm sure you'll notice him after today, more so. So welcome, Dale. Enjoy the show.
All right. Can you hear me now? And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome to the 2023 version of the Orangewood Talent Show. We do have some housekeeping duties we want to take care of first. Number one, can you silence your phone, turn it off, do something of that nature, so we're not hearing cell phones while we're trying to entertain you. When you are leaving the auditorium today, would you put your programs, I think we have a box back there. Put your programs in there, we want to recycle those if you could. And if you also would please keep the center aisle open as best we can because we are trying to videotape the program. So thank you so much for doing it. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. John Heck to come out here, please. John? Jan, I'm sorry, it's Mr. Jan Heck. Are you here someplace? Yep. This is Mr. Jan Hack. Let's give him a round of applause. I don't know why we're doing this. He asked me if I would do that. Due to the pandemic, as his better half said, that the show hasn't gone on for a couple of years, and we're ready to go. And we've learned something from that pandemic. We have learned that from the way some people wear their masks, we now understand why birth control doesn't work for everyone. But this one's coming. The next one, people, is us. We've all learned how to wash our hands properly, and guess what? Next week, we're going to start with turn signals. Our first entertainer is Mr. Come on, microphone. And he handed me a note, a little bit about Beatles history. It's just called Beatlemania. And it says the Beatles were invited to the Queen's Royal Variety performance back in November of 1963. The Queen was pregnant at the time and wasn't able to attend. To represent the monarchy, the Queen Mother and Princess Margaret were in the balcony. What happened next was legendary. After finishing one song, John Lennon said, "For our last number, I'd like to ask for your help. The people in the cheap seats, clap your hands. The rest of you, just rattle your jewelry." So here is some Beatlemania from Mr.
I wanna hold such a feeling that my love, I get high, I get high, I get high. Yeah, you got that something I think you'll understand when I play that something. I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand, I wanna hold your hand. Next song is Hey Jude by the Beatles, of course. And at the end, there's some na-nas in there. I'd like you all to join in. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart, and you can start to make it better. Every time you feel the pain, wait you refrain. Don't carry the world upon your shoulder. Well, you know that it's a fool who plays it cool by making his world a little colder. Hey Jude, don't let me down. Have found her, now go and get her. And remember to let her on your skin. Then you begin to make it better, 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 better. Come on now, sing it. La 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 la. Hey Jude. Na 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 na. Come on Jude. Na 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 na. Hey Jude. Jude, 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 Jude. Na 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 na. Come on Jude. Na 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 na. With you. Na 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 na. Come on Jude. Na 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 na. Hey Jude.
Entertainer, is this working? Next entertainer, Mr. Bobby Graves. And he's going to share something with us about a matter of policy.
Well, I noticed something strange on the way to church last Sunday. Billows of smoke came pouring from the door. I ran up to tell the leading deacon something should be done. The church is on fire for sure. He said, that's a point well put, a timely suggestion that we'll bring up at the very next meeting of the Board of Deacons. A week from Tuesday, I don't know why, it's just church policy. At the First Elizabeth Baptist Costal Seventh-day Orthodox Lutheran Non-Denominational Church of the Lady of the Mine. Well, I went back to church the very next Sunday in a tent bought and paid for by the building fund. I stood up to tell the congregation, there's a tornado coming, everybody run. They said, that's a point well put, a timely suggestion that we'll bring up at the very next meeting of the Board of Deacons, a week from Tuesday. I don't know why, it's just church policy. At the First Elizabeth Baptist Costal Seventh-day Orthodox Lutheran Non-Denominational Church of the Lady of the Mine. Well, we had an open-air meeting the very next Sunday. When the trumpet blew and the clouds were rolled away, I stood up to tell the congregation, lift up your heads, the Lord has come today. They said, that's a point well put, timely suggestion that we'll bring up at the very next meeting of the Board of Deacons, a week from Tuesday. I don't know why, it's just church policy. At the First Elizabeth Baptist Costal Seventh-day Orthodox Lutheran Non-Denominational Church of the Lady of the Mine.
Thank you, Bobby. Next on your agenda is some guy named Barstow. I've come across this thing that I guess you might say I'm kind of a sentimental kind of person, and this kind of stuff I like. Most of us in here probably are parents. But our children, my wife and I have 3 boys, and they're grown, gone, making their own way in the world. And raising children can be rather trying sometimes, and usually it's quite rewarding. Some years ago, all of us were a bit younger, and one night I was sitting there checking on some papers, watching things that were going on, and my wife was making sure the boys were getting ready for bed. She went in to check on them, make sure they'd had their bath, got their jammies on. And as the one was climbing into bed, he handed her a piece of paper that he'd been writing on. This is what it said. For mowing the yard, $5. For making my own bed this week, $1. Going to the store, 50 cents. Playing with my little brothers while you went to the store, 25 cents. Taking out the trash, $1. Getting a good report card, this is a biggie, $5. And for raking the leaves, $2. Total $14.75. Well, I watched as my wife sat on the edge of the bed, and then Mama picked up the pen, turned the paper over, and she wrote, for the 9 months I carried you growing inside me, no charge. For the nights I sat up with you, doctored you, prayed for you, no charge. For the time and tears and the cost through the years, no charge. For the nights filled with dread and the worries ahead, no charge. For the advice and the knowledge and the cost of your college, no charge. For the toys, food and clothes, and for wiping your nose, no charge. When you add it all up, the cost of my love is no charge. When she was done writing, she handed that back to our son. He read it, and when he finished reading it, he had great big old tears in his eyes. He looked up at her and said, "Mom, I sure do." Then he took that big pen and he wrote on that paper in great big letters, "Paid in full." Cost of my love is no charge. I do get emotional. Okay, we walk around here in Orangewood and we see these people out here in the swimming pool playing volleyball. Regardless of what the temperature outside is, they're in there playing volleyball, which leads me to believe they are a bit dysfunctional.
Stay in your own bloody spot.
What's the score?
I don't know.
5-4.
That was yours, Donna.
I was in the hole.
All right, last game, 21.
We haven't played in 21?
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
21.
There we go.
All right.
Good game.
Good game. Jumping, diving in our Orangewood pool. When days are hot, when days are cold, there's always room for you. Good hits, bad hits, acting like a fool. Now don't you wish there what else is there to do? Splashing, splashing, there's water in my eyes. Hey, look out, here it comes, don't look so surprised. Tournaments, pizza, have a beer or two. Laugh and smile and holler out, I think this game's for you. Yeah, you!
seems our next holiday coming up. St. Patty's Day. So we'll talk about Pat and Mike. They're lifelong friends. Pat is on his deathbed. He looks to Mike, who was there. He says, "Mike, my friend, would you mind coming by the cemetery every now and again once I'm planted and put some of that good Irish whiskey on me grave?" Mike says, "Aye, lad, I'd love to, but would you mind if I run through my kidneys first?" A Scotsman and an Irishman discussing which is better, stronger, however you look at it, Scottish whiskey or Irish whiskey. And the Scotsman says, "I have a friend who drank an entire quart of Scottish whiskey. Couldn't get out of bed for 2 days." And the Irishman says, "That's nothing. I know a couple, each of them drank a whole bottle of Irish whiskey. They got up the next morning and went to 7 o'clock mass." The Scotsman says, "Well, what's so strange about that, or normal, or whatever you want to call it?" The Irishman looks at his friend and says, "They're Jewish." Mr. Dan Bovey is going to be singing a song for us, something about old people's favorite things. Give a listen.
Pressure socks and nose drops and armchairs for sitting, walkers and handrails and new dental fittings, bundles of magazines tied up in string. These are a few of my favorite things. Cadillacs and cataracts, hearing aids and glasses, Polydent and Fix-A-Dent and false teeth in glasses, pacemakers, golf carts and porches with swings. These are a few of my favorite things. When the pipes leak, when the bones creak, when the knees go bad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Hot tea and crumpets and corn pads for bunions, no spicy hot food or food cooked with onions, bathrobes and heating pads and hot meals they bring. These are a few of my favorite things. Back pain, confused brains, and no need for sinning, thin bones and fractures and hair that is thinning, and we won't mention our short shrunken frames when we remember our favorite things. When the joints ache, when the hips break, when the eyes grow dim, then I remember the great life I've had, and then I don't feel so bad.
Thank you very much, Dan. Ah, yes. You remember when a hip joint was a place to go instead of a surgical procedure? And when we say enjoy them while you're young, we're talking about hips and knees, not children. Sometimes we find some strange happenings when we go to visit Grammy at the senior center.
Excuse me.
There's no excuse for you. There is no excuse for you.
Holy crap, there's a lot of people here. If I am the physician here at Orangewood Shadows Nursing Home, and you also might recognize me as Dr. Sexy, so anyway, we seem to have lost a resident, and I'm going to walk through the crowd. I know she's in here, so I'm going to look on a lot of guys' laps, because she's a pretty active woman. So, Maureen, where are you? So, Maureen. Oh, somebody's pointing. Oh, I found you. You can't hide from me forever. Maureen, there you are. Come on, your grandkids are coming to watch you today, or to visit you. I need to get you back to the home. Let's go. Come on, dear. Come on. Do I need to get a crane to lift you out of the seat? Come on, dear. I know you can make it. Let's go. Come on. She's pretty agile for an old lady, isn't she?
Grammy, it's so good to see you. Oh.
Oh, I'm so glad you both came to visit Maureen. I know it's been a long drive for you guys.
Of course. We have to come up and make sure she knows that we love her and we care for her and hope she's doing fine.
Is she adjusting okay?
She's getting along just fine.
Is she making any friends?
She's making plenty of friends.
But she looks a little groggy. Doctor, what's going on?
Oh, no need to worry. She's just a little grumpy because she just got her penicillin shot. She doesn't exactly love needles being poked into her.
Penicillin? What for?
Oh, don't worry. It's just a little infection. It'll be cleared up in a week or two.
Infection? What infection?
There's no need to panic. It'll be, it's very treatable.
Well, how did this happen?
We think sex.
Wait, sex? She's 91 years old.
Yeah, but she's an adult woman of sound mind. She can do whatever she wants. Casual sex between residents at the nursing home is quite common.
Well, can't you give them protection to help keep them safe?
Oh, of course we can, but we can't make them use it. We can't even get them to put in their damn teeth.
All right. So which one of these old Jews gave it to her?
Well, this time we really don't know.
This time? What do you mean? She's had it more than once?
8 times?
8 times?
Well, we're not sure who's giving it to her anymore. There's kind of a round-robin effect between 6 or 7 residents.
I am outraged. You're letting them take advantage of poor Grammy.
Oh, nobody's taking advantage of her. She's just driving the bus and they're just climbing on board.
You mean there's more than one person in there at a time?
You'd feel better if I said no.
Yes.
I see. It's really quite cute. After each encounter, they all leave her a red rose.
Those roses are, they're all for sex?
Oh, look at them all. Oh, no. Frankly, this is great for morale. Since Maureen has joined us, riots have gone way down. Everybody from the residents to the staff are much happier with Maureen around. The file's growing.
She's not having sex with the staff too, is she?
Would it make you feel better if I said no?
Yes.
I see.
That's it. We're kicking her out of here today.
Well, you just can't do that
Why not?
because she's sleeping.
Fine. Wait till she wakes up.
Okay, fine. It's still gonna happen, just someplace else. Your grandma likes it, so just let her. Look, getting old is tough. It can be lonely here. A lot of residents want to give up on life, but then we send in Grandma in the room and she convinces them there's still a reason to keep on living, like she only can.
That's disgusting.
Well, hold on. Wait. Let's talk about this. Grandma has never been happier. Have you seen her smile any more than she does here?
Well, when she's not sleeping.
So, I think we should let her.
Well, if it's helping the home out and she is really, a lot happier now, I guess it's okay.
Yeah, me too.
Ah, yes, the good old days. I'm a fan of a comedian who hailed from Mississippi. His name was Jerry Clower. And I liked many of his stories. In particular, I like this one. East Fork Baptist Church at Route 4, Liberty, Mississippi, was getting a new preacher. And he's coming around visiting each of his parishioners to get to know them. He knocks on the door at this one house and this little old lady shuffles up, got her glasses down here and she peers up at him. He said, I'm a new preacher. Oh, preacher, come on in. She takes him into the kitchen, they sit down, she makes him some tea. They have a piece of pie. She says, preacher, I'm doing pretty good. I've been seeing 5 elderly gentlemen. And the preacher's eyes just bulged. Kind of what we're talking about here, huh? She says, yes, preacher. She says, every morning I wake up and willpower helps me get out of bed. And then I go see John. Later, arthritis comes to visit me. And he takes me from joint to joint. Late afternoon, Charlie Horse shows up. And come nightfall, she says, when it gets dark, I crawl in between the sheets with Mr. Bengay. Our next group of entertainers. When we think about the way things are in our society today, people have problems with gender identity. But this next group of ladies, they just enjoy being a girl.
I go with my Joe or John or Billy, like a filly who is ready at the race. I have a brand new hairdo with my eyelashes all in curl. I float as the clouds on air do. I enjoy being a girl. When men say I'm cute and funny, and my teeth aren't teeth but pearl, I just laugh it up like honey. I enjoy being a girl. I flip when a fellow sends me flowers. I drool over dresses made of lace. I talk on the telephone for hours with a pound and a half of cream upon my face. I'm strictly a female, and my future I hope will be in the home of a brave and free male who'll enjoy being a guy, having a girl like me.
Boots hang low, can you swing them to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Do your boots hang low, can you swing them to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you swing your bogies over like a wizard? Do your boots hang low? Do your boots hang low, can you swing them to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Do you get a painful feeling when you throw them at the ceiling? Do your boots hang low? Do your boots hang low, can you swing them to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Do they get real sore when you try to
Thank you so much, ladies. You know, we have people out there, I hate to use this word, but in this woke society, we have people that are asking that Mother's Day and Father's Day be changed to Special Persons Day. And I say to heck with them, we have a day for them. It's called April Fool's Day. I don't like people that are flying around on private jets going to all these meetings and telling me that I should stop driving my car that's gasoline, and they think that I should eat plant-based food. I do eat plant-based food. It comes from a meat packing plant. This Irishman went into a pub, walked up to the bar, and he ordered 3 glasses of Guinness. Got them on a tray. He went clear to the back of the bar, sat down all by himself. And he would drink a little from one, grab another glass, drink from it, take the 3rd glass, drink from it. And when they were empty, he went and he got 3 more glasses of Guinness. Well, the bartender said to him, you know, Guinness begins to go flat as soon as I pull it. So maybe you should just order one at a time. He says, no, there's a reason I do this. Me 2 brothers have left Ireland. One's in Canada and one's in Australia. And they're doing the same thing where they're located. Because we had so many good times together, sitting at the pub, having a few pints. So this went on for several weeks. And the Irishman came in, and he only ordered 2 glasses of Guinness. And the bartender noticed that, and he says, oh, since, what do we call that stuff? Let's see, is it Brandon? No. Sympathy. Our sympathy is in order. Oh, he says, no. He says, me brothers are fine. But my wife has insisted that we join the Baptist faith, and I've had to quit drinking. There was a time when families spent time sitting on the back porch. Let's give a listen and spend an evening with this couple on their back porch.
wonderful night, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's great to be alive.
How would you know?
Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight.
I wish I may.
Let's do that again. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight.
Well, make a wish.
I did already.
Well, I hope it comes true.
We'll wait and find out later tonight. Give me a push, will you?
Here you go. Get mine started.
Oh, boy. How did your day go today?
Well, you know, yesterday I got that summons for jury duty. So I called up the clerk's office and said, I'm way too old to be on the jury. I said I came in last year and filled out all those forms, and they told me I was exempt from jury duty. And she said, well, you gotta do it every year. Where they think I was gonna get younger? And since I was at the courthouse, I went down to the driver's license bureau because it was time to renew my driver's license. And of course I had to fill out more forms, and they took my picture, and I waited and waited, and here pretty soon they gave me this nice laminated driver's license. I looked at it and I said, you mean I gotta look at that picture for 4 years?
In 4 years, you might think that picture looked pretty good.
Well, how did you spend your day?
Well, I got up this morning and I gave myself a treatment.
What kind of a treatment was that?
I put preparation H on my head. Trying to fit my head, to shrink my head to fit my hair I had.
Apparently that didn't work.
And so, when you were down to the courthouse, I decided...
My hearing is... Oh, yeah, he's clerk in the front.
I decided maybe I should go down to Little Larry's liquor locker, you know, down there on Main and First.
Oh yeah, we've been there many times for a happy hour.
Yeah. Well, I went down for my usual whiskey. I'm sitting there looking out the window, and there's a little old lady sitting out there on the sidewalk on an upturned bucket. She's fishing in a puddle next to the curb. And I thought, what the heck? I'm going to go out and ask her to join me.
Of course
So,
you would.
being the gentleman I am, I went out and did that. She came in and she accompanied me in the door, and we had each 2 more whiskeys. I decided, by golly, I'm going to ask her how it went this morning. I said to her, so how many did you catch? She looked me square in the eye and she said, you're number 8.
Well, she was pretty lucky, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was pretty lucky. I'll tell you that. She was really lucky.
So, what'd you think of tonight's dinner?
Oh, the macaroni and cheese was a little tough. My teeth ain't what they used to be, you know.
Yeah. Well, they ain't where they used to be either.
Garden looks nice, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does.
There was a snail on the rose bush this morning.
Did you kill it?
Tried, but it got away. So what do you want to do tonight, dear?
Oh, I don't much care.
Dad,
They didn't even get in there.
That even feels better.
Just read your newspaper.
Okay. Darling, why don't we have another kid?
Our kids are even too old to have a kid.
Well, I've been a perfect husband. I didn't gamble, I didn't carouse, and I didn't chase other women.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you were sure home a lot.
Oh, have it your way. Have it your way.
So what's in the paper today?
Well, let me get that check here. Okay, the USDA grants 8.511. That's not good. New top executive here. And, well, here's an interesting article. It says, to help save the economy, the government will announce next month that the Immigration Department will start deporting seniors instead of illegal aliens. In an effort to lower Social Security and Medicare costs. Older people are easier to catch. And they'll not remember how to get back home. It's getting a little chilly out here, isn't it?
Yeah, let's go inside and turn on Lawrence Welk.
I don't think that's possible. How about turning me on instead?
All right, get me started.
Okay. 1. You missed. 1, 2, blast!
Well, let's go inside and watch the 10 o'clock news.
Well, it's only 9 o'clock.
Well, I think if we hurry, we can make it.
More truth to that than we think, isn't there? Some of you have met my wife, Carol, and she enjoys putting puzzles together. You'll frequently see her over in the library putting those gigantic puzzles together. I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. But last year we were in Tucson. I was in the library and I found a box on the shelf. It was a puzzle, and on the side of that box it said 3 to 5 years. I was so pleased with myself, I put that something together in 90 days. One of Carol's brothers is a PhD in chemistry. He spent his career in the food and beverage industry. Now, he's retired, but he still likes to be the chemist. Every day he turns some wine or beer or brandy into urine. And when you're seeking a relationship, always make sure that someone in the relationship has good credit. That's why it's called significant other. That word significant is an acronym. Sign if I can't. Have any of you ever seen bare naked ladies? Let me rephrase that. Has anyone ever seen the band Bare Naked Ladies? If you have, you probably would have heard the song If I Had $1 Million. Well, we couldn't get them to appear here today, but Don and Steve have decided they're going to rewrite the song. They have their own version, and they call it If We Had $10,000. Because you don't need $1 million to live in Orangewood. And you should know that there will be no need to close your eyes or leave the room, because they will not be singing bare naked.
If we had $10,000,
I'd buy us some sunshine.
somewhere it's nice and sunny.
And if we had $10,000,
If we had $10,000,
I'd buy some tanning lotion.
maybe some shorts and some sandals.
And if I had $10,000,
If we had $10,000,
I'd buy some leather boots.
then we could go out hiking.
And if we had $10,000,
If we had $10,000,
we'd have lots of money.
that wouldn't be all that hard.
And if we
Had $10,000, we'd buy some sun.
If we had $10,000,
If we had $10,000,
then we'd head further south,
yeah, like to Orangewood Shadows.
where we could go dancing.
Yeah, maybe some line dancing
Yeah, and get a real suntan.
on a warm winter afternoon.
And go biking to garage sales.
Yeah, every Friday morning.
And how about happy hour?
Oh yeah, and cheap, real cheap Arizona booze.
And find out what all those old farts are up to.
Or what they did about 60 years ago.
And how they walked 50 miles just to get to school.
Yeah, well, built both ways.
In deep, deep, deep snow.
Yeah, lots and lots of deep snow.
And how they were so poor they just couldn't even pay attention.
Yeah, and they cut holes in their pockets, something to play with.
And how they only had one bed.
Yeah, for 12 kids.
And how they would bath just one time per week.
Yeah, the youngest one first.
And how they couldn't even afford toilet paper.
Oh, that's gross.
And bought shirts that were 2 sizes too big.
Oh, that's gross too.
And they fed the chickens and the pigs and the cows.
Yep, even before the sun came up.
If we had $10,000,
If we had $10,000.
well, that would be US dollars.
Yeah, of course. 10,000 Canadian wouldn't buy you anything.
Buy you a park model at Orangewood.
Well, maybe a real small one.
If we had $10,000,
We'd buy some stone.
if we had $10,000,
If we had $10,000.
if
We had $10,000.
$10, then we'd be warm.
Well, the lights are on. When I was a teacher, primarily I taught high school, and then we started the keyboarding program in middle school, 7th grade level. And from watching coaches doing their practice sessions out on the fields in the gyms and so on, I noticed every activity they were timing it. And so I'll tell you what, we're going to have a little exercise here for you guys. You've got 1 minute to stand up, wiggle, shake, scratch, whatever. Give your buns a break. Okay, if we can be seated again, please. You know, when a kid says, "Daddy, I want my mommy," that's the kid version of "I'd like to speak to your supervisor." Our next group was called the Aloha Strummers. And they're going to entertain us with some sounds from the islands. And if you would, when you're looking at your program, for whatever reason, Bob Gordon, who was on the bathtub bass back there, was left out. And the second dancer is Mr. Jewel Durrett. Welcome them to the stage, please.
Shall
They're just dragging in.
Akula! Akula! Wait for me, there's some dirty old men here eyeing me up. Wait for me! Maybe I'll sit here. Oh, no.
I don't know about you folks, but I think that takes guts. You know, I thought growing old would take longer. And it's really weird when I look out there and realize that I'm the same age as old people. On a serious note, I woke up this morning and asked myself, what is life all about? And I found the answer in my very room. The fan said to me, be cool. And the roof said, aim high. The window said, see the world. And the clock said, every minute is precious. The mirror said, reflect before you act. And the calendar said, be up to date. The door said, push hard for your goals. And the floor said, kneel down and pray and be thankful for what you have. Gordon Lightfoot is a Canadian songwriter, singer, and he wrote a song about an incident that happened on one of our Great Lakes. And so Mr. Dan Sanvo and Malcolm Drever will entertain with music about that happening. And then they have something on there about a pirate, which I know nothing about. So we hope you'll enjoy these two young men as they come to the stage to entertain you. Thank you.
Legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of a big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. The load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. That good ship and crew was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November come early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. The big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Later that night, when the ship bell rang, could it be the north wind they'd been feeling? The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and the wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, was the witch of November come stealing. And dawn came late, and the breakfast had to wait, when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. Supper time came, the old cook came on deck, saying, fellas, it's too rough to feed ya. At 7 p.m. a main hatchway caved in. He said, fellas, it's been good to know ya. The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. And later that night, when the ship lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they put 15 more miles behind her. Now they might have split up, or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep and took water. And all that remains are the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. In a musty old hall in Detroit they prayed, in the Maritime Sailors' Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of a big lake they called Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead when the gales of November come early. Thanks, that was generous.
I should warn you here. He's having a bit of an issue. You see, he's kind of modest, and with some of the themes and stuff going on around here, I mean, he's embarrassed to go into the grocery store and buy chicken breasts.
Have you ever been to see Billy?
Apparently not. The next song, we did the ship on the south side, now we're going over across the border to another ship, kind of. So anyway, Malcolm, now remember, do it slow so these Americans can understand what you're saying because of that deep Canadian accent. It's kind of hard to understand.
How's it going, eh?
I forgot. I'm a pirate now.
I used to be a farmer and I made a living fine. I had a little stretch of land along the CP line. But times went by and though I tried, the money wasn't there. And bankers came and took my land and told me fair is fair. I looked for every kind of job, the answer always no. Hire you now, they always laugh, we just let 20 go. The government, they promised me a measly little sum. But I've got too much pride to end up just another bum. Then I thought, who gives a damn if all the jobs are gone? I'm gonna be a pirate on the river Saskatchewan. 'Cause it's a heave-ho tide coming down the plains, stealing wheat and barley and all the other grains. And it's a ho-hey-hi, farmers bar your doors when you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. La-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Well, you think the local farmers would know that I'm at large, but just the other day I found an unprotected barge. I snuck up right behind them and they were none the wiser. I ran the ship and sank it and I stole their fertilizer. A bridge outside of Moose Jaw spans a mighty river. Farmers cross there's so much fear their stomachs are a-quiver. 'Cause they know the tractor Mac is hiding in the bay. We'll jump the bridge and knock 'em cold and sail off with their hay. 'Cause it's a heave-ho-hi-ho coming down the plains, stealing wheat and barley and all the other grains. And it's a ho-hey-hi, farmers bar your doors when you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. La-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Well, Mountie Bobby chased me, he was always at my throat. Follow on the shoreline 'cause he didn't own a boat. The cutbacks were a-comin' and the Mountie lost his job. And now he's sailing with us and we call him Salty Bob. A swinging sword, a scum and bones and pleasant company. I never pay my income tax and screw the GST. Good. Sailing down to Saskatoon, the terror of the sea. If you want to reach the co-op, boy, you gotta get by me. 'Cause it's a heave-ho-hi-ho coming down the plains, stealing wheat and barley and all the other grains. And it's a ho-hey-hi, farmers bar your doors when you see the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. La-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Well, pirate life's appealing, but you don't just find 'em here. I heard that in Alberta there's a band of buccaneers. They roam the Athabasca from Smith to Fort McKay, and you're gonna lose your Stetson if you have to go their way. But winter is a-comin', there's a chill upon the breeze. My pirate days are over once the river starts to freeze. But I'll be back in springtime, but now I have to go. I hear there's lots of plundering in Orangewood shadows. 'Cause it's a heave-ho-hi-ho coming down the plains, stealing wheat and barley and all the other grains. And it's a ho-hey-hi, farmers bar your doors when you hear the Jolly Roger on Regina's mighty shores. La-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Thank you so much, folks. Well, I mentioned Jerry Clower earlier, and he used to talk about this family he knew called the Ledbetters. Ardell, Raynell, Doc, Claudel, Udell, Odell, Lucelle. Marcel, Claude, Eugene, and Clovis. And Eugene Ledbetter was the mean one. Now their parents were commonly referred to, affectionately referred to in the valley as Aunt Pet and Uncle Versi Ledbetter. And Aunt Pet was going to go up to Valley a ways, visit a family that had just had a new baby boy. And the curious thing about this baby boy is he didn't have any ears. And she was going to take Eugene with her, and she got down to Eugene nose to nose, and she said, "Boy, you say anything about that baby not having ears, I'll knock you into the middle of next week. Is that clear?" "Yes, ma'am." So they get up to the new mama's house, knock on the door, let them in. They go into the room to see the little boy laying there in the bassinet. Aunt Pet looks at him and says, "Oh, just look at those little legs." And the new mama says, "Yeah, he has powerful legs. Look at those little hands, and you know how they are when they take your little finger. Oh, he's got a strong grip. Yes. And look at those eyes." And the new mama says, "Yes, 20/20 vision." Eugene pops up and says, "And it's a good thing too, because he ain't never going to be able to wear glasses." Clovis Ledbetter was the one that everybody said was the dumb one. And if you'll pardon me, continue, Clovis, we want to get these guys going here. My friend hired a butler that didn't have a left arm, serves him right. You will soon see that having a butler has advantages, especially when there are marriage problems.
Lanscroft,
Yes, Evelyn.
do you love me?
Why, of course I do. Why would you ask?
I've been hearing rumors about you and other women.
Oh, that is ridiculous.
Ridiculous, you say? Well, how about you and that widow Tyler?
The widow Tyler? That's absurd. We're simply walking around Orangewood looking for bananas.
There are no bananas in Orangewood.
Well, the widow Tyler seems to think there is. You were hardly the one to talk, dear. How about this Tito fellow?
Tito McGuire? Why, he's teaching me how to line dance.
Learning how to line dance, is it? Why is it I never hear any music coming out of that room?
Well, we're still working on the steps. Line dancing is very difficult to learn, you know.
Oh, really? You expect me to believe that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Evelyn, you have been running around, and I am furious.
Ditto.
Bromley,
Jeeves.
the madame and I are about to have an altercation.
Shall I begin?
If you wish.
Lancecroft, you are a despicable human being. Take that.
You really think you can get away with that, you wretched creature?
You hit a woman. You animal.
Bromley, you know what it's like being married to Evelyn? Boring.
Oh, that just about did it. I'm losing all my self-control. I believe I will have a temper tantrum.
Your temper tantrums don't move me at all.
Very well. You leave me with no alternative but to end this thing once and for all. I'm sorry to have to do this, Lancecroft, but I'm going to have to kill myself. There is no other way.
Evelyn! Oh, Evelyn, I just can't live without you.
Sure you can!
No, I can't.
Lancecroft, you really do love me.
Well, of course I do. We just needed this little spat just to clear the air. That will do.
You hear me? And as I said, Clovis was a dumb one. And one time, Clovis befriended an old fellow. When Clovis met this guy, the fellow was already 85 years old. And we never did rehearse this one. day at 12 o'clock sharp, Clovis would take lunch to this man. I mean, he became a really good friend to the fella. Well, years went by, and the old boy died. And they've got him laid out in the casket over there at the funeral home. There's folks up there at the casket, they're squalling and so on. But wouldn't you know, 12 o'clock sharp, here comes Clovis Ledbetter. He's holding a bowl of soup. Now he walks up to the casket, and he sets that soup down in there on the man's chest. The fellow walks over to Clovis, gives him an elbow. He says, "Clovis, you dummy, don't you know that man's dead? He can't taste that soup." Clovis said, "Yeah, I know, but he can taste my soup just as good as he can smell y'all's flowers." Do you remember Danny Thomas and Tennessee Ernie Ford? I don't know why these things pop into my mind when they do, but I can recall watching a TV special those two fellas did together. They're doing a skit, and Danny Thomas is dressed up as a senior citizen, and Ernie Ford is dressed up as that husband. Now the scene is, there's a couple celebrating their 50th anniversary. You still at? No. Maybe we are. I don't know. But they're celebrating their 50th anniversary. Here they are. They get in this hotel room. You know, the wife says, "Just think, honey. 50 years ago we got married. We came to this hotel. In fact, we're in the very room we spent our wedding night in. And you just couldn't wait for me to get my stockings off." And Ernie Ford looks at her and says, "Yeah, tonight you'd have time to knit a pair." I have a friend back in Wisconsin where we lived for about 28 years. He's one of my former students. He's a dairy farmer. And I was asking him one day, I said, "Do you ever have any cows that you have problems with?" He says, "Yeah, I've got a cow right now. She came in fresh last week, and this week she isn't giving any milk whatsoever. I don't know what happened. I can't figure out if she's a milk dud or an udder failure." Now, believe it or not, I had to explain that to Jan earlier. Now, I have been asked to explain to you, if you look in your program for this next act, you'll see the letters VLQ. That means a very large quartet. And these are our very own Ladies Barbershop Quartet, and they're going to provide us with some beautiful harmony about a gal in tennis shoes. Please welcome them to the stage.
How many people are in your quartet?
7.
Dot ba da, dot ba da ba da ba da da, dot ba da, dot dot da 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 ba da. A little old lady in tennis shoes sneaked into town one day. She was hoping that she would find somebody new, eager to play. A dirty old man with a roving eye shuffling down the street. Saw her sitting on a bus stop bench and decided to give her a treat. He sat down and then he turned around, hollered, "Look what I found, baby, make a little space for me. I want to grow old disgracefully. Maybe you're wondering, just like me, if it's the master plan. Can a little old lady in tennis shoes find love with a dirty old man? Ba-da, ba-da, da, ba-da, 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 da, da, ba-da, da, 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 ba-da, da, 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 da. A
Clovis with him to Nashville to the Grand Ole Opry. They wanted to see Jerry Clower perform. And they're staying at the Opryland Hotel. And they're walking around, and they stop, and they see this thing, the doors close. And then they see this kind of a half-moon clock up above it, going like this. It stops up there at about number 5. And they're thinking, hey, this is really something. Well, they stand there watching, and here's this little old lady shuffling down the hall. She walks in there, and they watch again. The door's closed. And those goofy-looking clock or whatever it is up there, watch it. It goes up to number 6. And this time, when the doors opened, Miss Tennessee came walking out of it. Uncle Versey looked at Clovis and said, boy, we're going to run your mama through this thing. I don't know, what would a show be without Elvis Presley? I do an Elvis impression, and I had to go over to the office here. Debbie had me come in. I had to sign a release because, you know, Elvis did a lot of moving around. I'm 79 years old almost. And they didn't want the risk of something happening and being a financial risk of some sort or medical care, whatever. So I signed that now, or I signed that release, and I'm going to now do my Elvis Presley impersonation for you. Just be patient now. I have received word that Elvis is in the building, and there will be some security around, so careful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will present to you Mr. Elvis Presley.
You're gonna take it, put a chain around my neck, leave me alone, let me be, let me be. I don't take my time, I haven't played you up, I don't want you now, 'cause I ain't the kind you loving love. Oh, the chain around my neck, lead me away, oh, let me be. Around you run your fingers through my hair, oh, let me be. But don't throw my sky is way too rough. I don't wanna be alive, 'cause I ain't the kind you love and love. Just wanna be your chain, oh, chain around my neck, lead me anyway, let me be. Oh, let me be your teddy bear. I just wanna be you. We're caught in the trap, I can't walk out, because I love you too much, baby. Can't you see what you're doing to me? When you don't believe one word I say.
Elvis! Oh, it's Elvis!
And we can build our dreams. Suspicious mind. We're told the Bible says no. Lord, I still see suspicion in your mind. Here we go again, asking where I've been. You can see the tears are real and dying. We can go on together with suspicion. We can build our dream of space time. Oh, let our love survive and dry the tears from your eyes. Don't let a good thing die. I'll never die of you. Yeah, yeah. What is it? I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. What you do to me when you don't believe because I love you too much, baby. You know it. But in the trap, I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Don't you know? Caught in the trap, I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Don't you know? Caught in the trap, oh, I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Don't you know? Caught in the trap, oh, I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Thank you. Thank you.
Elvis has left the building. You know, now that I have lived through a plague, I totally understand why Italian Renaissance paintings are full of fat people lying on a couch. You know, last night at our place, the internet was down, the electricity was out, even our telephones didn't work. I sat around talking to my family. You know, they're not such bad people. Our next performer, Mrs. Joyce Bovey, will be accompanied by Donna Owens. No? I did? Who did I forget? Oh, yes. Senior moment. It's very interesting When youngsters come to visit grandparents, they see things in a completely different light. And Grandpa and the granddaughter have some interesting things to share with you. Listen closely.
Grandpa, there you are. Grandpa, what's that music you're listening to?
Oh, that's great music.
Wow, Grandpa, this retirement park
It's retirement.
has lots of fun things to do, and Mommy and Daddy are going to be gone for 6 more days for me to have fun with you here. Grandpa, is that why you came here after you and Grandma got retarded?
It's retirement.
So you could do the fun things with other retarded people?
It's retirement, kid.
Grandpa, can we go in the morning and play the game with the big checkers?
What big checkers?
The ones they push around on the ground with the big sticks. And why do they put wax on the ground? So they can slide if they fall down?
Oh, lordy.
Grandpa and I went and watched a game called pickleball. We didn't see any pickles. Do you think they ate them?
Hey, if you believe that, that's right, kid.
Grandpa, can we go swimming after we go to eat lunch for the early bird special with the coupons that you cut out? And why do we have to go when the birds fly early anyway?
Well,
And once we get back from lunch, Grandpa, I think you better teach the people how to swim, because all they do is stand around with hats on their head and throw a ball over the net.
oh, that'd take too long to explain to you. I'm not going there.
And Grandpa, after swimming, can we go to the party they call a happy hour?
Well,
I want to see all the grumpy people be happy after they drink the Kool-Aid, right?
that's right, kid, that's Kool-Aid.
Grandpa, does everybody wear a name tag because they can't remember their name? And the man in the dollhouse by the gate, I don't think they let them out because he thinks they'll get lost. Grandpa, this has been the best day ever. Grandma says you worked hard to come to this park after you got retarded.
Retired.
And this park, they say, is called OWS. And Grandma says it stands for Old Wild Seniors.
Grandma said old wild seniors? Wow, I gotta go find Grandma.
When I grow up, I want to be an old wild senior, and I want to ride a tricycle that's for big people and live in a tin can in the desert.
It's a condominium.
I'm all ready for bed, Grandma. Grandpa, excuse me, sorry. I hope I didn't take too long in the bathroom.
Well, I was beginning to wonder, but I realize you're a young lady, so I guess it's okay.
Come on, Grandpa. Let's go find Grandma.
Oh!
I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and do more fun things with you.
Oh!
Yes, those grandchildren can be so fun. This couple was taking their granddaughter to church with them one Sunday morning. You know, they're walking along, got her in between them. And Grandma leans over and says, "Now you know why you're supposed to be quiet in church, don't you?" The little girl says, "Yes, because everybody's sleeping." And did you know that skunks are very religious? They get together and say, "Let us pray." This fellow retired from his career and needed something to do. So he ended up with a job as a greeter at Walmart. Now he was doing a fantastic job. The only problem they had with him was he was 15, 20 minutes late for work. Almost every day that he was scheduled to work. Supervisor called him in one day. Says, "You know, The customers really like you, you're doing a fantastic job, but you have this issue of being tardy most of the time. Were you that way in your previous job? He says, oh yeah, pretty much. Well, did they ever say anything to you about it? He said, yeah, usually every morning they just say, good morning, Admiral. Ooh. And now, let's welcome to the stage Mrs. Joyce Bovey, and she is accompanied by Donna Owens. And they want to bring us some toe tapping, hand clapping, a hoedown. Let's give it. is a young fella I have just met since we've been here. He's 82 years young. His name is Joe DeMello. However, Joe sings, and let me tell you something about Joe though. He's kind of cheap. I gave him $50 before he went to Hawaii to buy some flowers for my wife. I probably shouldn't say this, but that's probably a lie because my wife wouldn't want me to spend that much money. But anyway, all he brought back were these calendars. So, Joe says that he bought flowers and I haven't gotten any change. I'm wondering when that's going to show up. And we're proud to have Joe here. Just a minute. What'd you say? Jan was just telling me that Joe has sung on Broadway. Something I didn't know. He has entertained in one of the showrooms at the MGM in Las Vegas. So that's a pretty good repertoire there to places that he has been. Only thing is, it says right here, he's saying at 3300 East Broadway. Here's Mesa. And the room that he was at the MGM, the sign on that one said MENS. Now Joe has said, however, if anyone can guess where he is from, you're going to win a prize. Any guesses? Ah. Now, let me see here. Was it this young lady that said Hawaii? Oh, all right. And the second was over here. All right. So, without much further ado, oh, she got a 2017 calendar. That's what you get for second place. Mr. Joe is going to sing for us a beautiful song with his beautiful voice, Blue Hawaii.
Thank you, Dale.
You're welcome.
Dale?
Yes?
There's some carrying charges on that calendar.
Oh, okay.
This magic night of with you. Come with me while the moon is on the sea. The moon is on the sea. The night is young and so are we. So are we. Our dreams come true till blue away. And mine could all come true this magic night of nights with you.
Thank you so much, Joe. Joe, would you like to hear him sing one more song? Joe, will you sing My Way?
I kind of prefer to do it my way.
All right, all right.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every byway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without extension. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the highway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it all. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that. And may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words
afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Before we bring out the cast, you saw the cast, there are so many people that it takes to put on a show like this. And a lot of people don't get recognized for it because they're behind the scenes. So I'd like to call some of our behind the scenes people out. First of all, my better half, Jan. And third better half, Dave. Bob and Sherry Rasmussen. Oh, they're just awesome. So please come up. Dawn, our video officer. Thank you, Dawn. Fred, and Dawn Madsen in charge of our audio. Lois, makeup. Honest God. Kathy, our ticket takers. Kathy Lewis. Nancy Vide in the show later tonight. Like, it's just Marion. Oh, I don't know what I do without Marion. She is just, she's the people. She's the person that lines everybody up. Make sure they're all on time. So it does take a lot of people. Total cast and crew, we had 70 people that work for this. So, oh, and my very important curtain people. They did an awesome job, Donna and Margene. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Just remember what jobs you did next year, so you're ready for next year. Okay, now it's time for everybody to walk in, our grand finale. So let's go.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body, it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it. Been so phenomenally, come on, the way we rock it, so don't stop it. And under the lights, when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting too close. When we move around, you already know. So it's the legend. I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel a good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Ooh, it's something magical.
So this is it, folks. But you know what? I forgot to say a very, very, very important part of our show. I think he did awesome. Our master of ceremonies, Dale Barstow. That's all she wrote.
Well, it's the light says the senior citizens group awarded him a scholarship. And they called the house one day and this lady said, have you and your wife, Nate, come over for dinner with us. Meet the student and award him his scholarship. And she told this story. And it looks like Queen Elizabeth. And she said, this fellow was 85 years old. He just got married. He was a widower. He married a woman who was only 55. And they went off on their honeymoon. They got back, well, Fred's down there at the coffee shop with his cronies having coffee. Hey, Fred, you're really young one this time. She a good cook? Just average. Good housekeeper? Just average. Just average. Well, why'd you marry somebody so much younger than you? Because she can still drive after dark. Have a good evening. Thanks to all of you for coming.
Good show.
Or so you here tonight too, huh?